We're going way back to around the early 1980s when there was a hunter safety course going on in Surrey, and I became involved with the branch at that time. And after a few months, was privileged to become president of the Souris branch, and we went on from there. Yeah, Eddie Gauthier, Van McIntyre, Mel LeBrush. Actually, it was Steve Shivery first approached me to way back then to become a member, and I was really impressed with the numbers but the first meeting happened to be the wrap up of a hunter safety course, and everybody was getting their certificates, and there's probably 30 or 40 people in the room, and the next meeting there was 5 or 6, and it's been 5 or 6 ever since. But we're still able to do stuff. Well, actually, it was always stream enhancement. That was the big project over the years. But we did have a feeding program for our bird life in the wintertime. And then I was privileged to become president of the P.E.I. Wildlife Federation. And Souris branch is affiliated with the P.E.I. Wildlife Federation, and the P.E.I. Wildlife Federation is an affiliate of the Canadian Wildlife Federation. And normally the president and past president of the P.E.I. Wildlife Federation are automatically directors of the Canadian Wildlife Federation. And in that fashion, you got to hobnob with people from all across the country and attend national meetings. And it was a real eye-opener in that respect. And Canadian Wildlife Federation, they're affiliated with the National Wildlife Federation in the United States. And I remember back one year there was a national conference on national acid rain in Ottawa, and a lot of people came up in the States for that one. But getting back to home base here, to answer your question, the feeding program, stream enhancement, meetings, and probably a few little educational seminars, that kind of thing. Resolutions were big back then. Resolutions on creel limits, and the one that came up all the time was the eel fishery, that sort of thing. And yeah, it was a very interesting process. One of at the original wildlife dinners, I recall seeing a video clip of it, and Mel LeBrush, one of our president of the day, was up front. He was emceeing the dinner, and the video was taken from the back of the hall, and all you could see was a blue haze of smoke. Like 80% of the people were smoking, and it was just unbelievable and beyond heard of today. And it's just a sign of the times. The thing that comes to mind for me was back when our watershed work initiated with Souris branch here in this area, and Dale Thompson was the coordinator working at Montague, and he suggested to us that we apply to the Canada P.E.I. National Water Program. And this is where this watershed, Souris River watershed, started. And to me that was, as you say, cutting edge, because that's when things started to roll here, and we're very fortunate to have Fred, who retired as a school teacher and interested, and a past president of our branch. And but the other thing that's really important and cutting edge, and it's a statement of our region here, our farmers bought into the program, and our farmers ended up being strong stewardships of the land, and it seems like they're trying to outdo each other, and some of them have been awarded environmental awards for their good work, and they've gone beyond, in a lot of cases, what was called for in terms of regulations. And it's great, and we are very fortunate to be living on this end of Prince Edward Island, where we have pristine watersheds and productive watersheds. And I've heard it said that trout and P.E.I. grow like sows, and if we provide the habitat, and they'll come. So I came up with, I found an old article in the Guardian, 1965 stats, where Murray River was the top river in P.E.I. with over 120,000 trout caught. I'm sorry, 12,000 trout caught. And, you know, that's huge. And we'll never see that here in our lifetime, but maybe the next generation or the third generation from us will see it. Funding. Funding is always a problem, and with the interest in the environment these days, the government seems to come up, and non-governmental organizations, NGOs, seem to be able to come up with funding for a lot of things, and we have been very successful through the good work of Freddie to access funding pots, and so that's the difficult question is funding. There's all kinds of work out there, and to be able to access those funds and apply them to where they're supposed to go, that's the challenge. And we have issues here, and beavers is one of them. Commerce is another one, and it's all about the flora and fauna of P.E.I., and of course beaver and commerce are part of that equation, but there's got to be a balance, and the balance is, in my estimation, sportsmanship and having our children being able to enjoy the outdoors in a manner which benefits them, and a healthy lifestyle. That came into being maybe 12, 15 years ago, and nitrates is an issue, yes, on P.E.I., and we're fortunate that we have relatively good groundwater, especially in this end, but the people that are concerned about nitrates, the farmers are really concerned about nitrates. There's nobody more concerned than they are, and we work with the farmers to mitigate that process, and with the province, and we try to make it better. But nitrates is an issue. It's a relatively new issue in terms of time.
In your view, why have the cormorants increased in population such as they have over the years?
That's a good question. It's a natural cycle, and I think cormorants are like coyotes. If you start to try and eliminate them, they'll just lay more eggs. That's just my candid layman's opinion, but I might be wrong on that. We did have a cormorant issue way back in the 80s, and it became a real big issue when there was a move on to eliminate them to a certain level, and it became a big issue with Island Nature Trust and other groups, and I remember some fairly tension-filled meetings in Charlottetown in that respect, and but it's going to be an ongoing challenge for people.
What are your feelings on the work that was done last summer and fall with the Atlantic salmon in the area?
Oh, I'm looking forward to, before I pass on, hooking a salmon in front of my house and sort of on the river, and I think it's great. That's within a watershed that should be able to produce salmon, and maybe the fishing experience above Gallant won't be all that great, but in the flats downriver, it should be awesome if it comes to fruition. And it's something that we have to keep at and make it happen, and maintain the system in its pristine manner. And we're very fortunate we have that resource here.